Good evening. On behalf of the administration of Northwestern State University, I'm delighted to welcome you to the Louisiana Scholars College's Spring 2022 Baccalaureate degree ceremony. My name is Francine Lemoyne, and I serve our university as the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. This spring 2022 semester, I've also had the pleasure of serving as the acting director of the Louisiana Scholars College. I have several important stage guests who are joining us for our ceremony this evening, and I would like to recognize Dr. Greg Hondel, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, and Dr. Thomas Reynolds, Head of the Department of English, Foreign Languages, and Cultural Studies, and former Interim Director of the Louisiana Scholars College. I also want to recognize our amazing faculty who are the lifeblood of scholars. These are the dedicated men and women who have walked alongside and sometimes pushed and pulled the students we celebrate tonight through their educational journey. Please help me acknowledge Dr. Betsy Cochran, Dr. Keith Drom, Dr. Bill Housel, Dr. Rondo Keel, Dr. Dean Costanteris, Dr. Davina McLean, Dr. Alexei Muravitsky, Dr. Kurt Pfeiffer, and I would like to note that Dr. Pfeiffer is retiring at the end of the summer after over 30 years of service to the Louisiana Scholars College. Congratulations, Kurt. Dr. James Peash, Dr. Adnai Sisse, and Dr. Lisa Wolf. If the faculty are the lifeblood of scholars, then the heart that pumps that blood is Miss Gabby Trindle. Gabby is our administrative coordinator, who just began at Scholars in February, and she's doing an amazing job. She's put on this event, and thank you for all that you do for us, Gabby. Today's joyous event honors you, our seniors, soon-to-be graduates, on your successful completion of the requirements for a baccalaureate degree from the Louisiana Scholars College at Northwestern State University. This is no small feat. Tomorrow you will graduate from the state of Louisiana's only designated selective admission honors college. Your motivation and talent got you here, but you didn't do it alone. In addition to the people on this stage, you were aided and supported by your family and friends, many of whom are here today to celebrate with you. Graduates, please rise, turn around, and congratulate your greatest supporters on a job well done. The Louisiana Scholars College touts that we offer small classes, a close-knit community, and supportive faculty who are committed to student success. While this commitment is threaded through the curricula, the programming, and the very halls of Morrison, there is no greater illustration of this commitment than the senior thesis defense. During a 3-week span last month, I was fortunate to attend 11 defenses. The topics, as you will soon see, were as varied as one could imagine. The commonality in each of these was commitment. I watched classmates and faculty beam with pride as the seniors presented their hard work. I witnessed first and second readers engage their seniors in true conversation, not asking questions to quiz or test knowledge, but rather to learn more about the seniors' opinion and ideas. That is Scholars. It is a place where ideas can be freely engaged, exchanged, and in an open and inclusive way. So seniors, know this: the experiences that you have had within the Louisiana Scholars College have been unique and no doubt formative. Take these experiences and the knowledge you have gained from them to make your world, our world, a better place. Don't hold your knowledge close. Be proud of your accomplishments and share those experiences with others. Now we will hear remarks from two faculty representatives, Dr. Rondo Keel and Dr. Davina McLean.
Thank you, Dr. Lemoyne. Well, oh my gosh, look at you guys. It's fantastic. Congratulations, I want to say first. And secondly, I want to ask you if you have ever played Candy Crush Saga. Because my speech has a lot to do with, so I'm going to keep this metaphor going through the whole speech. So this is a little game where you match three. There are these candies. I have to explain this now to everybody who hasn't played it. Put up your hand if you have, though. Come on. Don't leave me hanging. Okay, there we go. See? No, we do our homework all the time. You know. And you match these things up three vertically, three horizontally, and they disappear and kind of reveal things underneath. And so there's a certain kind of level on this game where there are these bears. I think they're gummy bears. I'm not sure. Everything is candy oriented in this game, surprisingly. And anyway, you move the candies around and you reveal these bears and you sort of free them, right? They're trapped. There's a little girl who tells you, you freed the bears if you do it all. And sometimes if I'm playing this game and my wife asks me what I'm doing, I don't really want to say I'm playing Candy Crush Saga, right? So I say, I'm freeing the bears, right? But then one time I added this, I said, but next time I hope to keep them from being trapped in the first place, right? And I don't really mean that. I was hoping you would laugh when I said that, right? It's incredibly stupid. It's a smart alecky thing to say. It's the kind of smart alecky thing I'd say to my wife. What's silly about it, of course, is that the whole game depends upon the bears being trapped because the point is to free them, right? So if the bears, right, if you could devise a way for the bears not to be trapped, sometimes they're trapped in bubble gum, sometimes they're just trapped behind mountains of candy, then you wouldn't need to play the game, you wouldn't need to free them. And some advice that people get when they're graduating has to do with not just how you comport yourselves after graduation, but how you're going to go out and try to live a life that's meaningful and you're going to help people and so on and so forth. And this is very good. And of course, many people have these goals and they're oriented towards service. They want to go into helping professions. And everybody wants to do what's good and be a good person and be meaningful. But the first thing I want to say, I guess, in my speech is that don't worry about the bears, about preventing them from being trapped in the first place, right? Sometimes you get the sense that you have to heal the broken world, right? But the world it's not broken, right? It's just kind of a mess. So you can help the mess, right? I mean, you can free the bears, but you don't have to keep them from being trapped in the first place, right? You don't have to put so much pressure on yourself, maybe, to make the world perfect or to stop injustice or something. You can just kind of relieve, free those bears you can get to. So I guess what I'm trying to say, that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is that for people like me who are in a helping profession, right? I'm a teacher. It's a privilege to be able to go around freeing the little bears. Sometimes that's you, by the way, right? You're the little bears, or at least helping them to free themselves and become educated and go on and do more things. I guess you guys, I help free you, and you go free other bears or something like that. That's the scheme, I guess, that we have going. But it's remarkable. I think a perspective that students don't really have, and even parents don't quite have, is the change that occurs as I'm madly running around trying to help you. And I know my colleagues know what I'm talking about. You come in the door and you're all kinds of different people, but in general, you're 18-year-olds, right? You're a little awkward and unsure, and you want to make a good impression, and you want to seem smart but not too smart, and so on and so forth. And as you move through this process, right, there's a kind of alchemy that occurs that is always seems to me miraculous, right? When it works, right, it's amazing how well it works. For many of you, I have kept in touch with you a little bit after seeing you Texan traditions. First couple of years, I see most of you at least a little bit. And then you just kind of vanish, some of you, from my perspective, because you're off doing all kinds of other things. And if you don't take another class from me, maybe I won't see you again until you're doing your thesis, you're defending your thesis. Maybe I'm able to stop in and see. And I'm constantly amazed at what I see. I really am. Because you can comport yourself well, right? You speak with confidence, but with just the right amount of hesitation that shows that your thinking is nuanced. You are able to engage in a wide range of topics, but on some topics you've done more in-depth looking, and that shows, right? It really shows. And in short, you've gone from being kind of, late-stage adolescents to being young adults, truly young adults, and a special kind of young adult, which is an educated young adult. It's a precious commodity. I know sometimes it seems like everybody in the United States goes to college, and people say things like, well, bachelor's degrees are the same as a high school graduation certificate used to be. And maybe that's true in some economic terms and in terms of expectation. But the truth is that when you move through a program like this and you complete the tasks in the thing, some kind of transformation takes place that's really, truly special. So I want to say congratulations again, and I'm proud of you, and thank you for letting me free you from the bubblegum.
I can't believe you really wanted to hear me talk more. Haven't you heard enough? I mean, liberal arts and practice, that was your last shot. That should have been enough. Where you were all trying to figure out just what the heck you're going to do with your lives. Some of you know, some of you don't, and that's okay. It really is okay. Because it's going to change. And you're going to do lots of things you never expected to do. I have a degree in classics. What did I do this afternoon? I installed a new light in my entryway. Did I ever study electronics or electricity or any of that? No. But I can read directions. And I can figure out that not in the directions is a way to hold the dang thing up there while you're trying to do the wire nuts and all of this. When you need 3 hands, but the directions don't tell you you need 3 hands. So I can go out to the garage and get one of those little bungee things, and I can hook it there and hook it there, and it stays while I do the dang wire nuts, which always come loose at least once. Has anybody ever done this? You installed a light, a ceiling fan, something like that? Oh my gosh. This is not what I went to school for. But I learned how to learn. And if anything, you have learned how to learn. You have learned how to look at your world, yourself, your colleagues, the places you want to work, and see, yeah, okay, this is okay, but this needs to be fixed. Let me think about how to make this better. So you're going to hear a little duplication because, Keel and I are sometimes on the same page. You've learned how to learn. You've learned how to think. And you've learned that it's okay to ask questions. Why is it done this way? Well, have you thought about X? Have you thought about this? You've learned that you can make things better and that you should. You've delved deeply into the high school and junior high classroom, some of you. And you love teaching, but some of the structures around the way education works make it harder than it has to be. Don't lose your love for teaching. Don't lose your love for helping. It's always going to be harder than it has to be. Because if it were easy, there wouldn't be so many problems, right? It's always going to be harder than it should be. Dr. Keel mentioned how you've grown as you came here. Some of you have really, really found your voice and found yourselves and found the strength to say, this is who I am. It took me a long time before I was brave enough to dye my hair funky colors. You know, thank you for letting me do that. Thank you for letting me be me and teaching me that. You teach us things along the way. Keep being passionate about what you do and about the people around you. Dang it, I wasn't going to do this. You're a very special group. You have been through a lot. These years weren't what you expected, even when you didn't know what to expect. But you didn't let it stop you. And in fact, you worked harder and more diligently and more carefully because you saw the fragility of this world around you. And you knew that everything mattered just a little bit more because of everything that was going on. You matter. You matter to your families. You matter to your friends. You matter to us. And you matter to this world because we need you to keep going out, to keep asking questions, and to not be willing to cave when someone rejects who you are and who you know you are. Be you. And don't ever be sorry for it, because you guys are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Keel and Dr. McLean. Next, we will hear remarks from two of our graduating seniors, Arden Woods and Sierra Stone.
In the spirit of being true to myself, I didn't really bring anything written down to say. I think about what to say a lot, and I've thought about this school a lot, thought about all of you guys a lot, and what I want to say is that this place has always felt like home. It's always been the place where I'm excited to come. I'm excited to see what we're doing, to have been part of Forum Council and plan our events, to see everybody have a fun time together, but also to watch us struggle together. That's something we really experienced the last 2 semesters especially. We weren't super close, I think, as a class before then, but the thesis really brought us all together. Even though all of our topics were wildly different, we still had a lot that we could say to each other to help each other, to find something and say, hey, this is related to your thesis. Just things that show that we were thinking about each other. And I read something that I kind of want to share recently about how there's a problem we have with measuring success by forever. If you don't do something forever, you've failed. If you write a book, you publish it, and you decide you don't want to write anymore, you're a failed author. You drop out of school, you're a failed student. But things don't have to last forever to be good. So if you go into something out of this and you decide this isn't for me anymore, it's okay, you didn't fail. Things can still be good and end. Like I learned that despite coming here, doing my thesis on antibiotics, I'm going to cosmetology school after this. Because I didn't just learn facts here. I didn't just learn things that I could repeat. I didn't just learn answers to Jeopardy questions. I learned something different, that what I like to do is to make people happy. What I like to do is to make people feel good about themselves. And I learned that's something that I'm good at doing. I like to make people smile. I like to make people laugh. And I also learned how it's not just what you know, it's who you are. And part of this has taught me who I am. And I, despite not really going to use this degree, I don't regret getting it. I don't regret being here. It's been a great experience regardless, and I wouldn't trade it back or say that I wasted my time. It's been something, irreplaceable to me. So, thank you.
In true Sierra fashion, I did prepare something because I would be too nervous not to. So, sorry I'm not as off the top as everybody else today. But first, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming. In true scholars fashion, we really picked the most convenient day of the week to do this, so I really thank everybody for being here. When I was thinking about what I wanted to speak about, I kind of kept coming back to this question that I was asked a lot in my time in scholars, and that was, why are you in scholars? I was on the softball team when I first got here, and I was the only athlete, I believe, in scholars when I got here. And a lot of people kept asking me, why it was worth being in scholars. And to be honest, in the beginning, I didn't really have an answer. Sometimes I would say it was because I was given a scholarship to be in scholars, and sometimes I would say it was because my parents came and they really liked it, but I never really had a good answer. And it may have taken me 4 years, but now I think I have a multitude of reasons as to why I stayed in scholars. So, I remained in scholars because when I needed 2 letters of recommendation in less than 48 hours, despite Dr. McLean always telling us we should have more time, I immediately knew of 3 professors who would do so and didn't even think about it. And in fact, 2 of them were up here and gave me the letter within 24 hours. I stayed in scholars because a teacher I had never met before was willing to send me Spanish quizzes and grade them over the summer so I could test out a Spanish 1 and stay on track for my degree. I was willing to stay in scholars because when I had a mock interview come up, I had a professor give a mock interview with 2 lawyers from the area, within, I think, a week's notice, and it prepared me so much for my interview. And if I needed any more reminders, I was reminded about a week ago when one of my fellow classmates, who I won't name, but is, Mrs. Best Dressed and is consistently the best dressed person in our Spanish class, was willing to give me 200 pages of her thesis paper that she ordered to me, and actually let me print my thesis out before her, which I urged her not to do, but that's just the spirit of scholars to me, is that, like Arden said, we weren't all close when we got here, but I do think over the course of the 4 years, and in the last year especially, we just grew to be a tight-knit group. So yes, scholars is difficult, and they did force me to write, a 45-page thesis, but it also provided a sense of community that I don't think I would have been able to find at just Northwestern or at any other college. And, I can tell you, about what my classmates are passionate about and what they believe, because we talked about it together in TNT. And I can tell you what they're passionate about because I was at their thesis defenses, or I spoke with them over the last year about what they wanted to research, or I was there when they changed what they wanted to research. So, sorry, having some difficulties here. And when I think back, sorry, just redo this. Yes, I see why Dr. McLean just chose not to wear one today. So, we may not have been close when we got here, but we were present for what I think is the biggest achievement of all of our lives, which was our thesis and our thesis defense, and now graduation. So, Scholars has seen a lot of ups and downs throughout the 4 years we've been here, but we did it all together. And I think that no matter the fact that we're all going different places, we'll have a bond that other people won't have, and we'll relate to each other in a way that others won't understand because of what we've been through together. So again, I just want to thank everybody for being here and for supporting all of us in your different ways, and for my classmates hating public speaking so much that they voted me to do this. So thank you.
Now it is finally time to recognize our graduating seniors. As I call your name, please come forward to receive your certificate and medallion presented by your thesis advisor. Emily Sophia Bennett, earning a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. Her thesis title, Cult 45, An Analysis of Donald Trump's Cult Potential. Maybe you could just... Congratulations. Abby L. Broussard, graduating summa cum laude with highest distinction with a Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education and Teaching, English Education. Thesis, Hillbilly Thomas, Flannery O'Connor's Sacramental Aesthetics. Our next graduate is not here because she is already working. Grace E. Cummings, graduating summa cum laude with highest distinction with a Bachelor of Science in Theater, Performance, and Directing. Her thesis title was History Playwriting, Ethical or Not. Austin J. Dismer, graduating magna cum laude in a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Finance. Austin's thesis title, Comparing the Promotion Methods Used to Promote YHLQ MDLG During the Pandemic to Album Sales Data. Holly J. Pinta, graduating summa cum laude with highest distinction, the Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts, Humanities, and Social Thought, and a Bachelor of Science in Child Development and Family Relations. Her thesis title, Feminism on Ice, an analysis of feminist and gendered rhetoric in Disney's Frozen. Bailey E. Perilou, graduating magna cum laude with highest distinction with a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts, Scientific Inquiry. Bailey's thesis was entitled Meta-Analysis of Anxiety Levels in Undergraduate Students at Northwestern State University. Caroline E. Shepard, graduating summa cum laude with highest distinction with a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts, Fine and Performing Arts, as well as a Bachelor of Arts in Fine and Graphic Arts, Studio Art concentration. Caroline's thesis, Ekphrasis to Character Art in Dungeons and Dragons Storytelling. Sierra M. Stone, graduating summa cum laude with highest distinction with a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts, Humanities, and Social Thought, as well as a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice. Sierra's thesis was entitled An Analysis of Fair Fight Georgia and the Status of U.S. Voter Laws. JCL Template, graduating magna cum laude with highest distinction with a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts, Humanities, and Social Thought, as well as a Bachelor of Social Work. JC's thesis was entitled The Current Shortage of Hospice Social Workers, Findings from Louisiana. Tanner P. Thibodeau, graduating magna cum laude with distinction with a Bachelor of Science in Social Studies Education. Tanner's thesis was entitled Redefining Humanity, a study of the evolution of paleoanthropology and what we have learned from Homo neanderthalensis. Arden C. Woods, graduating magna cum laude with highest distinction with a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts, Scientific Inquiry. Arden's thesis was entitled A Collection of Antibiotic Compounds from Soil Bacteria. Maylin G. Woods, graduating magna cum laude with highest distinction with a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts, Humanities, and Social Thought. Maylin's thesis was entitled Motherhood, Womanhood, and Race in Kate Chopin's The Awakening and Toni Morrison's Beloved. Congratulations. We have one final graduate who also could not join us, Grace E. Kearns, graduating summa cum laude with highest distinction with a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts, Humanities, and Social Thought, as well as a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. And Grace's thesis was entitled Oddly Satisfying Videos, an Aesthetic and Psychological Analysis. Congratulations to all of our graduating seniors. As your time here draws to an end, please remember that no matter where you go from here, into the workforce or into graduate or professional school, always know that you have a home in Morrison Hall and in our hearts. We hope that you come back to visit often. And remember, once a scholar, always a scholar. To our guests, we hope that you stay to enjoy the beautiful city of Natchitoches and that we see you all at the commencement ceremony tomorrow at 10 a.m. This concludes our ceremony for this evening. Please feel free to stay and take pictures, meet your students, faculty, and friends, and enjoy some refreshments. Thank you all for being a part of this wonderful evening. Good night.